Welcome back to the free features of the Tandem Foundation, where I get in trouble for the first time since 2019 in MMXIX.
Visible to use the time it hits your fucking vehicle. Now, apparently your mom is fucking gifted because she seems to think that no matter what the fuck happens with that goddamn truck, she can respond in 30 fucking feet or less at 65 fucking mile an hour. Which is fucking amazing because that gives you basically about a second and a half of response time to see what the fuck's going on and fucking change lanes to avoid it. So if there's someone next to her, or I doubt she can respond to anything that fucking quick anyway, but she seems to be okay with that. There's a chunk of road missing, or there's something in the fucking middle of the road, your mommy thinks that less than a second and a half she can fucking change for it. Okay? Two, more importantly, the big thing I try to teach her is that one of the things that she may have to avoid is a blowout. Okay? Now, I've explained to mommy many times that truck tires are designed to actually blow the fuck out. You ever seen the big shreds of fucking tires on the road?
Not typically. But
Mommy's seen them. You ever seen a big truck?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because they have all these metal things all throughout them.
Yeah, so do cars, but you don't realize
Well,
that.
yeah, but car tires are much. I mean, when truck tires explode, I mean, they really explode.
Yeah.
So you can see the insides.
So here's the thing with fucking truck tires. All tires, but it really had to deal with the truck tires. Truck tires are usually put on a fucking big truck. Duh. So big trucks usually carry a lot of shit on them. They're weighing about 70, 80,000 fucking pounds. Right? 18 wheels on a typical big truck. Okay? There's a reason most of the fucking tires on a fucking truck and trailer are doubles. 2 tires on every fucking thing. So if one goes to fuck out, the truck doesn't fucking drag shit on the fucking pavement. Has to have a lot of fucking tires to distribute all the fucking weight. Okay? What can you tell me about truck tires, dear? How are they size-wise?
They're huge.
They're fucking huge. Okay? So the thing with truck tires, they're fucking expensive because they're fucking huge. Right? Takes a lot of material to make a truck tire. They're big. So one of the big things places do to save money on truck tires is do something called retreads. You drive on the tire, it wears down the rubber on them over time. They become bald, basically. Because a brand new tire has grooves that run in it. Right? So after a tire's been ran down, instead of making a whole new fucking tire, which is more expensive, they put more materials on the old fucking tire and turn it into a new tire. Right?
Now, is that like making the tire worse, or just changing the shape of the tire?
It puts all the little grooves and stuff back on the fucking tire. So
Is it
anyway,
like a tire with treads?
yes, it puts treads back on a fucking tire. By putting a whole nother layer of material on it. So in doing that, unfortunately, it's not as good as making a brand new fucking tire. But it's a lot cheaper. Okay? What the problem is it has a penchant for when that tire has something fail on it, it blows that retread off. And you end up with what's called a gator. That's a slang term for basically that tire has blown that outer shell off now,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes the underside, and it just lays on the fucking road. Why do you think they call them gators?
Gators.
They're made out of Gatorade.
Yes, Alex, you're made out of fucking gator. Why are you putting socks on top of dirty socks?
I just want to see if they're too small.
Could you please leave my clean clothes alone?
You just put your clean socks on his dirty socks.
I need to change out these socks. I need to go do that.
They're called gators because the tire blows out and it lays kind of flat, kind of curved down the fucking road, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're called gators because they have a tendency to bite. Meaning you run over it, it can fuck shit up. If you're in a truck and you run over a gator, it can cause your tires to blow the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're thick, they're full of fucking metal wire, which, you know, gives them more sturdiness. So when that blows and shatters, you got this rubber and metal out on the fucking road. If you run over it in a big truck, it'll fucking blow your tires out too.
Mm-hmm.
In a big truck, it'll blow your fucking tires out.
Mm.
So what happens, you think, if you drive in a little fucking car?
Probably a little more than you won't have a tire anymore.
It'll fuck your shit up. It
It'll
won't just
tear
blow
up
your tire,
the
it'll tear up your
underside of the
underside.
car.
I mean, you can rip out your fucking oil pan, you know, tear the shit out of the bottom fucking panel of your fucking car. It will wreck your
The
shit.
holes and everything, it could completely destroy the car.
And that's if you fucking try to run over the motherfucker. Could even flip your fucking car.
Yep.
Because if you hit it and it wads the fuck up under one of your fucking front tires and you're doing 65 down the fucking interstate, you hit that shit, boom, it'll throw you fucking sideways. So it can flip you or throw you off the fucking road. Not to mention tear the fuck out of your car. And that's if you're fucking lucky. That's if you're fucking lucky. Mommy doesn't understand this. She thinks she's fucking amazingly immune to all this shit. So she gets right up on shit. But that's your best case fucking scenario. Worst case scenario, like say you have like a sports car that sits kind of low and has a sloped hood. Thank God we don't got one of those. That gator fucking pops off a fucking truck in front of you, and that fucking gator's rolling the fuck down from fucking stopping at 60 miles an hour. That thing hits the front end of your fucking car, not only gonna smash your fucking front end,
It's gonna go
but
through
roll
your windshield.
right up and into your windshield and possibly kill you.
And we have the perfect hood for that.
Which is why Mom thinks it's important that she gets right like 20, 30 feet off the fucking ass end of a truck.
If
going down.
anything hits our windshield, because, it hits the hood, it's curved right into the windshield.
So Mommy likes to get right up on fucking big trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll justify doing that. Well, I didn't want to go the fuck around them and I'm impatient.
I'm not justifying it, I'm explaining why, and I understand it's wrong. I will try not to do that.
See how that works?
I am not saying that it is right.
And so next time we go out on the interstate, your mom's going to do the exact same fucking thing because it's a habit.
Or you could give me.
I do. I do tell you repeatedly, but then I'm getting on to you and you get defensive instead of
I've
just
been
listening to what I
trying
say.
to do better. You've seen me doing better with the staying on the road, staying in my lines, stuff like that.
Yeah, unless you're cold or distracted or whatever. Okay. You think I'm getting on to you, I'm just explaining. You have bad habits. And you find reasons to repeat those bad habits even when you're trying to do fucking better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's not to say you won't ever fucking change, but it's irrelevant in this conversation. I'm saying most people aren't adaptable or aware. Okay? Now I have driven a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my most recent thing is driving big trucks or what the fuck ever. And the thing about a big truck, it sits high up off the road, so you can see all sorts. It is doing all sorts of stupid shit, and it's crazy watching these people's bad fucking habits. You know, going to Kansas City in the fucking nighttime, it's pretty fucking quiet in Kansas City. I mean, in the daytime it's fucking packed, but at nighttime it's pretty fucking desolate.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on the 435. It's the big road that runs around the fucking city instead of into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would take. And it's funny because you go into fucking Kansas City at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's quiet except for a few little fucking cars out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you watch these fucking cars and it's crazy how they act. You would think if you have a big open fucking road, 2-3 lanes across, people would have plenty of fucking room to drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do. Guess what they choose to do?
Hmm.
You have 2 fucking cars out there, no one the fuck else around. Instead of just everybody kind of going their own speed to get where the fuck they're going, they group up.
Hmm.
They have to be side by side or bumper to bumper, even if no one the fuck else
That's
is
what
around,
they're
because that's how they're
used
used
to.
to driving. Huh?
I agreed with you. I said it's what they're used to.
I've watched fucking cars countless times in construction zones. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Car will fucking zip down 5-10 miles over the fucking speed limit. They're fucking like an inch away from the car fucking next to them and shit like that, just being all sorts of fucking stupid. I'm not worried about them motherfuckers next to me, in front of me, behind me. They get to a construction zone and, man, they'll slam the brakes on, go slow. They avoid the fuck out of them cones. They're going to jump out and get me. People just have all sorts of stupid fucking habits. You know why people do that in construction zones? Versus in traffic? Why do you think people can go bumper to bumper in fucking dense fucking traffic, whipping through fucking town, but they get terrified of fucking construction zones, dear?
I don't know.
Because people feel on the road with other fucking cars, they'll do whatever the fuck they want and everybody else has to adapt to them. Oh, I'll just whip the fuck around. People fucking move. Get out of my fucking way. Those little traffic cones and barrels don't fucking move. Like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Now I have to fucking know where the fuck my car's at. I can't do that. Right?
Yeah.
It's 2 a.m. and we're still talking about cars.
Yes. What's your problem with that?
Well, I don't have a problem with that. The problem with the fact that we won't be going out today. If we ever do get to go out today, which
Well, one, I happened to have fell asleep and I woke the fuck up. 2, you fuckers are up this fucking late every goddamn night anyway when I've asked you to not do that. So you need to shut the fuck up about being 2 a.m. And 3, if we go out, we'll go the fuck out. You guys can go to sleep, take a fucking nap. If you're worried about it, go lay the fuck down. My ass can be up all fucking night and go out in the fucking daytime. I might lay the fuck down. It really don't fucking matter, but I'm fine.
now that I get told to shut up for the first time since I was 12 years old.
Nope, I said shut the fuck up about the 2 a.m. thing. That's my way of saying you're going to be up this fucking late, whether I'm up talking about cars or you're in there fucking off on your computer, so, you know, don't criticize what I'm fucking talking about. If you don't like the topic, you have a computer in there and a bed. You can use either fucking one. But you're interrupting. I was talking about cars at 2 in the morning to tell me I'm talking about cars at 2 in the morning. Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't say shut up. I said don't get on to the fucking 2 a.m. talking about cars. Very different thing. Yes?
Yeah.
Anyway,